This is a continuation of the video where we replaced some window clips. Again, this is our 2000 or 2001 Buick Park Ave Ultra. So this is the passenger side door. We got the door card off and got the barrier down. And once all that's done, to get this door handle out, I'm going to use this little hole right here, and we're just gonna reach our hand back in here, and this clip right here, we just this sits in there like this, and that clips in. You just push on this side and it unclips like that, and then rotate that out of the way, pull that out of the hole. Now the one for the handle mechanism is a little bit harder to get to. As you can see, you can reach up there and get to it, but it's just as easy to take out that 10mm bolt and the 10mm bolt that's over here, and you can actually see it through this hole. See if I can get a good angle on it here. Right there. You can get a like a socket and an extension in here if you use a 1/4" extension, but I find it's just as easy to get this down and then use a 10mm ratcheting wrench to get in there and do that. So we're going to replace this door handle because it just doesn't work. You pull on the handle and nothing happens, and I'll explain to you why when we get this door handle out. So let me get this out and I'll be right back. Alright, so now we got that bolt and that bolt out. And again, I just took a 10mm ratcheting wrench and stuck it on there and got it out that way. So you can do it either way. So this is ready to come out. I still have that arm attached, and I'll just show you how I plan on getting this thing out of here. So there's two little, and you can see them, there's two little plastic pieces, this one and that one, that kind of hold it in, and you can just take those and push the bottom of them out. Let's see if I can get a decent look, but now they're pushed out. You can see the gap up there. So now you just get to the outside of the car here. Now the handle's starting to come out. You just kind of gently work this thing down. You kind of pull the bottom out. These clips are the ones that are a pain in the butt. And remember, that linkage is about right here. So if you get this link down to a manageable level here, it's going to fight in just a little bit, but essentially what you want to do is take this, the bottom of it comes down, kind of like that, and then you slowly work this corner out, and you kind of, as you're doing this, you kind of want to move it forward, because this linkage, I don't know if you can see it or not, but it's sitting right here on the door lock. So you're going to kind of work this down and out. And the linkage just popped out. So you kind of do it like that, okay? And then you can pop this loose, back that linkage out. You can't do it one-handed. But that's essentially how you get this apart. I'm just gonna see if I can do this side one-handed. There we go. So now we got our door handle off. Now, this is why it's not working. It's because the handle is not working. So normally this would actuate the lever here, and our spring isn't resting on there like it should. But then this thing is also kind of tight, okay? So what we're gonna do, we've got a replacement door handle. I bought this one cheap on Rock Auto, but notice that this one's riveted. And that one's got a Torx. So we're gonna take this part, and we're basically just gonna swap the linkage. That way we don't have to paint this, because this came black. And this is obviously white. So, nothing wrong with this one other than this part here needs to swap out with that part there. So I'll work on this a little bit, and I'll come back and let you know how it worked. Alright, so I cut these up. Tried a few different times. But I ended up cutting it with a whiz wheel, a cutoff wheel. And it went pretty quick. So all we're going to do now is take this little C-clip out of here. And there should be a C-clip on this side. Yep. Take that little C-clip out, slide this out, swap over the spring, and probably drill that rivet out and use this arm if I think I can use it. There's nothing physically wrong with the existing arm, so maybe we'll just change over the hardware like this clip. But what we want is that spring. That's the biggest thing, and the rod, because the rod gets rusty and crispy, and when it does, there's a flare on this side, and that flare gets lodged inside this hole, and then the handle doesn't work. So let's swap everything over and see how it works. It's day 2. Finished the brakes on this car, which they weren't too bad. It was day 2. Here's the old handle housing, which is perfectly fine. I mean, it's a little bit dirty and a little jacked up, but not too bad. So I just got these back from paint, and this is the original door handle. And you can see, I'll move this over here so you can see a little better. See, this is broken. Wait for it to focus a little bit better. But it should, that should look like this. So you can see how that broke. It's just old. You know, this is on a 2000, so it's pretty old. But I got this back from paint, and it looks pretty good. Alright, I got this thing pretty much put back together. Swapped out the new hardware up here. You can see how this sits in there. And on the front side, I mean, this looks pretty dang good. I mean, the guys in the paint shop really did a fantastic job. So, and on the flip side, everything's working, so we're all bueno. I don't have to change the lock cylinder out or anything. I think I'm just gonna leave it like this. I mean, that looks real good. So I think that's what I'm gonna do, because there's nothing wrong with this side, and I don't think there will be. You know, and then there's a couple things that is just more chintzy about this. I don't like that this isn't serviceable, just a rivet. It's kind of hard to explain without feeling it in your hand, but it definitely feels more chintzy. Alright, we are ready to go back in on this bad boy. So we have that connected. Oop, we do not have the lock part connected. Okay, the lock part's just chilling right there. You can kind of see it. And then to get this in here, we're going to push this down as far as it'll go. Kind of tuck it in. I suppose it might help if I was actually pointing the camera at the door, huh? Kind of tuck that in there. And then pivot. Alright. So you got to go behind that mounting hole. I ended up taking this off. This is the one for the lock. I'm just going to set this up here on top of the car. And then, like I said, oh, I got the Corona. like I said, you kind of wiggle that back like that. I'm going to try to hold this door open with my knee. And then you just kind of finagle it in like that. That looks pretty dang good. I mean, that's close. Real close. Not too shabby. Alright, now everything else is on the inside. And it's basically the opposite of what we did in the beginning here. So we got to reconnect all that. Put the screws back in, or the bolts, I should say. We're going to have to reconnect that plastic piece to the door lock. Shouldn't be too bad, as long as we maintain that the one for the door handle was attached, which it is. And then we should be good to go. That's it. And everything else is opposite of take apart. So when you get ready to do this door card, the sound barrier here for this door is just absolutely destroyed, but it has to go back in. So you know, we're gonna do what we can here, and these have to go back where they were. There. We're gonna do what we can with that barrier, maybe use some duct tape or something. Again, this isn't like, you know, this door or this car's is a 2000, so it's almost, it's crazy to think, 5 years away from being a classic. And this thing's got like 270 some thousand miles on it, so it's been through the ringer a few times, and pretty sure this door's been apart more than once. But to do this correctly, I'd use the flashing sealant all around. You can see where the butyl used to be. I'll just follow around the door. And then you use a new piece of plastic, and then you cut out for your speaker, door handle, and your support attachment over here. And that's how you would do it. Thanks for watching. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button.